Hi, guys. Our picks for the NFL games this week, a quick preview of next week's games, and some news around the NFL. Hi, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Football. I am Erica Davis, and please welcome my co-host, Darren Dodge. Darren, there you are.
Hey-o.
Hey, Cody Swan. Hey, Cody.
One of these
so serious, Cody.
I'm legs crossed in November. This month needs to end immediately. Sorry.
And we've got the beautiful Andrea Renee hanging out with you guys in the chat room. Hi, Andrea.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
So, that wasn't me. That was okay. That was me. That wasn't Andrea, but she's there, I promise. No, we're trying something new here at This Week in Football. Today's show is going to be all about the bets, all about the spreads, all about the lines, okay? So, guys, get ready to place your bets because this week is Ask a Bookie week. We have our favorite bookie online with us right now. Weez, are you there?
I am here, Erica.
Okay, so Weez, I have to start off this week's show by saying that you and I bet that if I lost the Giants-Eagles spread, that I would be taking shots of Patron. Well, I didn't lose. I think you lost. So do you have your bottle of Patron handy right there with you to take your shots?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, start shooting away. We're gonna believe you. This is gonna be the honor code tonight, and just believe that you took your shots of Patron on behalf of your loss.
No, he just put one down.
Does that sound real enough? Oh,
1 to 10, Weez. How drunk are you right now?
I can hold my liquor. That's
All right.
all I do, gamble and drink.
Gamble and drink. That sounds like a good lifestyle to me, Weez.
Especially around the holidays, right?
Okay, so we're going to extend our bookie segment this week, Weez, which I'm so excited about, to 20 minutes. Let's start off with the Cincinnati Bengals going to the Jets. Okay, so we have the 2-8 Bengals facing the 8-2 Jets. Now, you guys all know that I've kind of been a Mark Sanchez, fan advocate all season long. Darren completely thumbs down to that idea. But again, 8-2 Jets, he's doing something. The team is doing something right. This is going to be a hard one to pick, but I think Cincinnati's going to pull this one out. What you got for that one?
Spread is, the Jets are a 9-point favorite.
Wow, I might have been wrong.
Yeah, that's
you
a
like
bit.
the Jets minus the 9 or Cincy plus the 9?
I'm thinking Bengals plus the 9.
Interesting.
Yeah, looking at this, I'm looking. The Bengals are 3-7 against the spread this year. They're 2-3 against the spread away, and they're 2-4 against the spread as underdogs. I like New York to cover this too, and it's it's in the Meadowlands, the new Meadowlands, and I don't see anything that gives me any reason to pick Cincinnati in this game. I think Carson Palmer is probably the most overrated quarterback in the league. Except him and Mike Vick can fight for that honor as far as I'm concerned. But Carson Palmer has yet to show anything really special this year. That team is starting to fall into the Terrell Owens, Chad Ochocinco sink where they're bickering and getting into diva land with the receivers. And as much of as cautious as I am on buying Mark Sanchez as an elite NFL quarterback, I still think that New York has just got too solid of a team to let Cincinnati stick around at home.
I totally agree. I think Jets are going to take this one hands down.
I guess, of course, this is the not-so-smart pick, but I just really think that there's so much to prove. Of course, Carson Palmer has had a ton of interceptions this season. Between Ochocinco and T.O.'s reality shows, they haven't been able to be productive on the field. But I think that this is going to be a huge turning point. I really do like that T.O. talked about how badly the team sucks. He said, we're just not a good team. And I think when a player starts taking accountability for the team's mistakes and the team's shortcomings, that can sometimes become a turning point. So Ochocinco and T.O. have too much pride and too much talent to go down to 2-9. And that could be an emotional pick, but then again, it's not really, because I'm not a Bengals fan at all. I just think that the Jets have to be exposed. And I think on offense, the Bengals can be the team to do it. Andrea, what do you think?
I I agree with you here, Erica.
Okay.
Like, I know, like, on paper, it looks like the Jets are lined up to absolutely crush Cincinnati. But like I was talking to Darren about before we started filming, Cincinnati has had their moments where they make these amazing, shock kind of victories over teams that are supposed to crush them.
Yeah.
And I think that you're right. I think that this could be a turning point for them because they have talent on their team. I just don't think that they're utilizing it. So I'm going to go with you. I'm going to pick Cincinnati here.
Even if you look at their recent history, if you look at their recent history, these teams played twice last year, and the Jets wiped them
both times.
They
did. You're right.
They got their number. It wasn't even close. There's nothing in this that gives me any. Now again, this has not been a rational year in the NFL by any stretch, but there's no rational reason why the Bengals should even be close in this game.
I completely agree.
Did anyone see that second half? I mean, how do the Bengals recover after getting outscored? I don't know if it was 31-3 or 31-7, blowing that lead last week.
And that's what I think is going to happen. Like, Weeze, I really think that this week is going to be redemption for the Bengals. Now, of course, they don't have anything to play for but pride, as they've been saying all week, in the news to the media. We're only playing for our pride now. Well, they have a lot of pride they have to try to salvage. And yeah, the Buffalo Bills completely raped or poor choice of words. Poor choice of words. Completely annihilated. And they have to redeem themselves. Okay, maybe we should move on to the Minnesota.
Wait, I can't even say ginger white egg bitches. What's wrong with that? I have a bone to pick right there.
That's a deliberate. Come on, that's a deliberate knock. She was using a legitimate word that's just been certified by the American roster.
I'm just making a point.
My bad, chat room, my bad. Okay, well, chat room, you guys let us know what you think, not about that comment, but about the Cincinnati Jets game. So that was going to be girls versus guys. Andrea and I are picking, no matter how foolish it could be, Cincinnati over the Jets. Weeze, Darren, and Cody all have the Jets over Cincinnati. Now, mind you, we didn't say that the Bengals are going to win by 9 points. We just said they're going to win on the field.
Oh, who wants to know that?
Oh, well,
we want to know if they're going to cover that. If they're going to cover the lay.
Well, sometimes you just have to.
I will be rooting for Cincinnati plus the 9. I don't think any gambler in the right mind is going to take Cincy. All the gamblers should take the Jets minus the 9 after watching the teams this year. I think the Jets, will probably cover, but I'm hoping I'm wrong, and I hope Cincinnati pulls it off like you girls are saying.
How about that Minnesota at the Redskins game coming up? Now, of course, we always, at the beginning of the show, talk about how ridiculous it is that we keep talking about Brett Favre and the Vikings.
And his penis.
And his private part. The Vikings are 3-7, going up against a 5-5 Washington Redskins team. I guess one point to make here is that both quarterbacks are struggling.
Yeah, they are flaccid.
Yeah, exactly. They are ridiculous.
They just have no ammo in their arms.
That's really
I said
funny.
arms. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But
So, Weeze, what do you have for the line on the Minnesota Vikings versus the very subpar Redskins?
Yeah, the line is very low. They made Washington a small favorite. They're a 2.5-point favorite. Minnesota, everyone knows, fired Childress. But I don't think a new coach is going to help Brett Favre. I mean, till they decide to bench him, I don't know how anyone could pick Minnesota. So I guess we'll see if you guys disagree with me or not. But I think Washington minus 2.5 coming off that overtime victory. They're back in things, and I think Washington would definitely be my pick.
No, I totally agree.
Same. Man.
It's not like when Dallas fired Wade Phillips. He was clearly the problem in Dallas. Mm-hmm. The problem in Minnesota is Brett Favre at this point, and he's the one who's given up.
Because they were talking about this on ESPN, and they said that the players wanted to keep Wade Phillips, whereas in Minnesota the players were begging to get rid of Brad Childress. And I think that this could be a catalyst for them to be like, now we have a little bit of breathing room, and now we can run some plays like we want. And I think you're going to see a different Brett Favre on the field now that Brad Childress is out. I think that it's not going to be the same guy. Listen, as a Minnesota fan, I'm the first to say that he's made a lot of mistakes this season.
17 interceptions this year already?
Listen, you don't have to remind me.
21.
I know it's bad, but I think that this could be, like Cincinnati, I think this could be a turning point for them. I think that they could really pull out a win. And if I had to pick a quarterback between McNabb and Favre, I'd pick Favre.
Is that just
no
because?
questions.
Is that just because, Andrea, that's your hometown team?
No, it's because he has proven time and time again that he can pull it out. That he has got the skills to make it happen when he's on point.
So Brett Favre can pull it out against the Redskins.
No, see, Favre was arguing with his offensive coordinator, not Brad Childress. Look, he's like a lame duck president. He's already said he's not coming back next year. What does he have
he
to
says
play
every
for?
year.
Yeah. But I mean, this year, it's not like he's sticking around and make the playoffs.
So you're taking
bitter.
Washington.
Definitely. And by the way, Minnesota has been terrible against the line this year. I think they're 0-5 on the road against the spread, and they're 0-4, I think, as dogs against the spread. So there's, again, no reason to take Minnesota.
Says the guy who's never won any of his picks.
The smart bet is to go with Washington on this one to cover.
So Cody's going Skins. Andrea, you're going Minnesota?
I have to. I can't not go for my boys. Sorry.
That's okay.
Who are you picking?
Who are you picking, Darren? I'm being a coward.
I'm with Cody. I think the Skins are going to take this one.
I'm going to say Redskins too. Andrea.
All right. We'll see who's got the last laugh.
Okay. So, Weez, you hear what's going on over here, right?
I hear everything.
Okay.
Got ears everywhere.
And you know everything.
very honest
You know
statement.
everything too. So you have to let us know who you got against with the Philadelphia at Chicago game. They're both 7-3 teams. Bears has a tough defense. Vick still has not thrown for an interception for the year. The Bears are doing an awesome job of converting third downs. It's going to be a tough one. Philadelphia is still riding that Michael Vick hype, but I think when Philly faced, who do they play? I can't even remember. When they played their game on Sunday.
The Giants?
Giants.
Oh, yeah, the Giants. Yeah, duh. When Philly faced the Giants, they showed that they are actually a little bit more multifaceted than just a Michael Vick team. So I'm going to say Philly takes this one.
You don't even know the line yet. Come on.
Well, no, I mean,
line?
this is just my gut feeling. But what do you have? What do you have for us for the line?
Philly is a 3.5-point favorite.
I was right then.
I like Chicago. I mean, me and Cody on the same thing. Giants showed us with a little pressure on Vick. He's just an average quarterback. You give him time, and he is a good quarterback. But Chicago's defensive line, they will blitz him. Chicago's coming off an easy victory against the Dolphins last week, where Philly again had a night game, a little bit shorter of a week. And finally, I mean, even though I still am bitter over my Giants pick last week, I think Chicago again 3.5 at home would definitely be a good play.
Yeah, I hate to keep agreeing with Weasley because I know you want to hear some sort of disagreement, but I really think that Vick is an average quarterback. And like we said, if you give any NFL quarterback worth his weight in salt the opportunity to throw the ball, give him time, they're going to look good. But if you get a little bit of pressure on Vick, he starts making mistakes and he stops being so great with the ball. And especially, this game's more about the Bears than it is the Eagles, though. This is a team that is 4-1 against the spread when they're underdogs this year. And so basically what that tells you is when this team is doubted, they get up for the game. And to be underdogs at home, that's just extra motivation. I'll take the Bears.
So Philly's been given 3.5 points, and you're taking Chicago, and so are you, Cody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm taking Chicago again. And more importantly, I'd like to point out that you called the whole phenomenon of Mike Vick. Yeah, we just keep on talking about Brett Favre. You called Mike Vick's hype.
Well, I mean,
hype is something that isn't real.
Well, no, I call it hype because I feel like with any player, it's not a true and tried phenomenon until you can do it consistently. Now, Michael Vick is winning, week after week after week, and he's having a great season. But what happens, 2 years from now? Like, is he still, winning like Peyton Manning wins? Is he still winning like Tom Brady wins? He was.
Nope.
He's
Is he back in jail?
Oh no. And so I really think that it's hype because he has not proven himself over a long period of time. Though, in that same vein, I do think that the Eagles and Philadelphia have a lot of talent. And I really think that they are going to they're gonna beat the Bears. I mean, I was worried about Vick against the Giants defense. I'm not worried. Why are you shaking your head?
The Bears have a very quick defense.
Okay.
And I completely agree with Weeze. Just watch for them to get to Mike Vick a couple of times early on in the game. He's going to get frazzled and he's going to start throwing bad passes.
No, but he hasn't been doing that this year. Like he gets a little uncomfortable in the pocket, and then he finds a second option, or he knows how not to lose the ball. I don't know. He hasn't thrown any interceptions this year. He lost his first fumble against the Giants the other night, but besides that, he's making really smart plays. I think that he has grown and matured, and I think you guys are like, oh, whatever.
No, I'm with you again. I'm picking Philadelphia over Chicago. Part of the reason is because I really want Chicago to lose because they're in my division.
Of course.
And then the other part is that I agree with what you're saying, that, I mean, you can't count Michael Vick out just because he hasn't been playing as long as Cutler has.
I don't even like Cutler. I just like the Bears' defense, and I think it's going to be a good matchup.
They're absolutely a great defense.
They are.
But
so are the
Philadelphia
Giants, though.
has been on fire. They're just, they're
Yes,
really
they have.
performing well. They're working really well together. And like Erica said, Vick has not had a single interception this season, and he's been, out there playing his hardest.
I think he's going to throw his first one this week.
I don't think it's going to happen.
We'll see.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we got, again, girls against guys on that one.
I know.
Well, everyone knows that, girls
It's a good
are.
thing we're not driving. We're winning a driving contest. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not.
Hey,
Yes, I am.
Whatever.
I love the show.
What about Jacksonville Jaguars at the Giants? Both teams 6-4. All of a sudden, the Jaguars are playing better than subpar, mediocre football. I don't know. This is the same team from the beginning of the season. I mean, they had some kind of epiphany and decided, oh yeah, we're going to actually win some games this season. The Giants, are stereotypical Giants. I don't know what you got for this one, Weeze. Jacksonville at Giants. Who do you have? What's the line on that one?
Giants are a 7.5-point favorite. A lot of points. Jacksonville coming off back-to-back fourth quarter victories. Giants coming off still 2 losses. I mean, to give 7.5 points, a lot of points. Don't like it that strongly, but if I had to take the game, I'm going to pick Jacksonville plus the 7.5.
See, I'll finally go a different direction than the Weeze. This is another game that I would stay away from. This is tough when Jacksonville's coming on with a streak like this, and the Giants have struggled the past couple of games. This is a game that I would normally pass on, but if we're picking, I'll take the Giants because it's in the Meadowlands, basically.
Yeah.
And I told you this last week. I'm a big believer in weather's a factor, and I think that Jacksonville is sort of. I mean, yeah, they're at the top of their division right now. Somehow they're with the tiebreak, they're ahead of Indianapolis, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
But with that weather change, assuming that it's even a little bit cold up there next week, I really don't like Jacksonville to hang around too long. I think it'll be a blowout by halftime, actually.
Darren, who do you think? What do you?
I'm taking Giants. I think they're going to win the game, but I don't know if they're going to cover the spread.
I don't know about that 7.5 points.
I don't think they're going to cover that. I think it'll actually be like a really great game.
So we're asking. This is gambling. We're asking with the spread, not who's going to win or lose.
Oh.
7.5 point favorite. You taking the Giants or Jacksonville?
Thank you, Weeze.
Well, okay.
Thank you.
well, I mean, when you put it like that, Weeze,
right, yeah,
when you put
yeah.
it like that, I still don't know.
I mean, it's going to be cold. Jacksonville. All right, I'll take Giants with the points, I guess. I mean, I think that if they do cover the spread, it'll be just barely. They might win by 10.
Andrea?
I'm with Darren on
Okay.
this one. I agree that I think that that's a big margin.
Is someone writing down these picks? I want someone.
I'm keeping track
Okay,
of them all.
good.
I have them all right here, writing them
There's the
down.
proof.
I no longer want to be on the hook for one pick anymore.
No, I
hate that.
got
I hate
them all
that.
for everybody.
All right, good.
I
Okay.
even have Mo's picks too, since
Nice.
I'm
Oh,
filling in
Mo,
for him.
gotcha. So we're holding you accountable too, Mo.
Wherever you are.
Wherever you are, Mo. Mo speaking from the heavens.
Mo died this
He's
week.
on
Oh,
vacation.
don't say that. Mo's in Miami Beach. So
well-
that could be heaven. Who knows?
I agree with Andrea and with Darren on that pick. So, without the points, so we're picking Giants, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I guess you're hopping on that bandwagon.
Yeah, I don't know. Not
Now
so sure.
I'm getting nervous now that everyone's coming to my side. Now, I think New York is going to win this in a blowout, but I wouldn't be confident enough to actually make that bet.
Well, before we let you go, Weez, we have to.
Oh, we have to get his locks.
Yeah, we-
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Sorry.
You got to get his locks this week.
And we got to look at Cody's record.
Oh, that's right.
right. It's a perfect record.
Oh, it is perfect.
Yeah, it is a perfect egg.
Cody's going to give Mo a run for his money. What did I say? Mo lost 12 in a row or 13 in a row?
Something like that.
Yeah, no, 12.
12 in a row.
What's Cody at now? Is it 6, 7?
Six
I
in a
lost
row.
track.
6 or 7.
And last week my pick was Fresno State to cover the 30.5 against Boise
Yeah.
State. Boise State beats them 52
That's
to nothing.
crazy.
How does that
I
happen?
couldn't believe it.
How does that happen? Anyway, all right. So, Weez, you want to give your locks before I give my my lead pipe lock?
Sure, we'll go. We'll give one Turkey Day game to let people hopefully make some money. New England's playing Detroit. New England's a 6.5 points favorite. Detroit hasn't won in a while at home. I'm gonna go with Detroit plus the 6.5. I think their offense is clicking, and they're gonna really want to win this game. New England, the defense just isn't there, and I know they've been winning, but I still don't buy the wide receivers or the running game. And Brady's a one-man show, and I think he's the MVP, winning with the talent on their team. But I look for Detroit to win this game, so I don't even think I need the 6.5. But
Wow.
I'll take the 6.5 to be safe.
Now, my only question before I get into that is, do we know who the starting quarterback is for Detroit? Who's going to
Sean
be?
Hill.
I'm not sure. I'm believing it's Hill.
Yeah.
If it's Stafford, even better. But I don't think it matters.
I think if it's Stafford's in there, I like New England to cover because Belichick eats up rookie quarterbacks. If it's Sean Hill, I'll take Detroit. So
Technically, Stafford's not a rookie.
well, he didn't play at all last year.
Oh, he played a little bit.
Okay, all right.
That's like a red shirt.
Yeah,
I'm
it's just like a
agree
red
with
shirt.
Louise on Detroit, though. I think that Detroit has had a lot of really close losses. I think that they were just a couple points away or one play away from winning. So it's possible, and the Patriots have been all over the place this season.
It's possible.
Look at you! You think I'm just mad?
Are
out
you
of my
calling them the
mind.
Katy Perry team of the NFL? Are you saying they're hot and they're cold, they're up and they're down?
Yes, they are the Katy
all right.
Perry of
That's
the NFL.
So, all right, Bill Belichick, you are now the head coach of the Katy Perry team of the NFL.
Hey.
And you are the fan of the
I know.
Katy Perry team
I
of
know.
the NFL.
Katy
So,
Perry
no,
fan club here.
No. And Weez, you are crazy, dude. Like, New England's gonna go in there and stop Detroit.
I'm with Darren on that one. I mean, great Thanksgiving Day entertainment. Ha ha ha, ho ho ho, Christmas, Merry Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that's amazing. But Lions are not going to beat the
Oh,
Patriots.
hell no.
It's just not going to happen. I don't care if Sean Hill
Have
and
you heard-
Matthew Stafford are in there at the same time. It's not
You heard
going
it
to.
was let down after the beating Indy last week. Let down. Do you think they want to be playing on Thanksgiving? No. Detroit.
Yeah, I'm going to say with Sean Hill as a starter, I'll just make my pick. I'm not going to hedge it. I'll take Detroit to cover too.
And I just want to make a mention of someone in the chat room. It's Curtis. He's saying you never know, just like the Browns trounced the Pats 34-14. I think we all remember that game. You guys never would have picked the Browns to win that game.
I don't think we talked about that, but I might have picked it because I'm a Colt McCoy fan in the house.
God.
Oh, whatever.
I'm just saying.
Get the
I'm just
baby.
saying.
You know,
I actually heard someone
Curtis
make
is bringing
a.
up a very good point that you can't count Detroit out just because they're the underdog.
I'm not counting them out because they're their underdog, Curtis. I'm counting them out because it's just not rational. I mean, Tom Brady and the Patriots, they've lost their one horrible game to the Browns this year. It's not going to happen again. I mean, if they lose again in such a horrible fashion, maybe it'll happen in playoffs, but it's not going to happen in regular season again.
Look,
I'm all for the underdogs.
I'm not even saying that Detroit's going to win on the field. I'm not saying that. I just think they're going to cover the 6.5. forget on the field. Who cares?
I just want Erica to name me 2 players on New England's defense.
Oh, and
without
we're gonna.
Daring God. I can't name you 2
I was about to say,
Yeah,
I don't even think I could.
was like-
Merriweather and Mayo, man. Those guys are the anchors in there.
You had a Patriots fan who was able to spit them out like that. I mean, you definitely got me, Weez. You got me stumped on.
I
Merriweather,
couldn't name them myself.
hard-hitting
That's the only
safety,
reason I
Mayo,
asked
hard-hitting
you.
linebacker.
All right.
Okay,
We
so
spent enough time on this.
All right,
what's
whatever.
your-
Look for them to win.
all right, Cody, you got a college pick for us?
I think Wee's got one more.
You have one more lock for us.
Oh,
Yeah, let's look. We got Pittsburgh at Buffalo. Pittsburgh's a 6-point favorite. I've been saying all year I think they're overrated, and I've picked against them twice this year, and both times I picked against them, I've been right. Buffalo playing great the last 5-6 weeks. The record might not show it, but they've been very good against the spread since they've changed quarterbacks and running backs. They're coming off a huge emotional comeback against Cincinnati, and now they're going to play at home. Like Buffalo plus the 6 points.
Okay, Weez. I have been accused of cheering for and being in favor of the Steelers all season because, as I've been told repeatedly by Cody and by you, I believe, the Steelers are an overrated team. But I'm going to go again with the quote-unquote overrated team. I think the Steelers go down there and handle business.
It's weird because, like we said, the Bills have come on late, these last couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I agree with Weez that Pittsburgh is one of the more overrated teams in the NFL. But I'm going to take the Steelers to cover that 6. And I just looking at how the Bills have played, even as home underdogs, they're 0-2 against the spread this year. I just don't think they're a team that's very motivated. There's no weather advantage. Buffalo and Pittsburgh, it's pretty much a wash in terms of how crappy their weather is. So you throw that one out the window, and I think that Pittsburgh is just a really, they're not an elite team, but they're a really solid team, and I just think they can shut down that Bills offense. So I like the Steelers to cover that. Was it 6? You said, Weez?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the Steelers to cover that.
All right.
I'm going with Bills.
Okay.
I think I'm with you, Weez. I think the Bills are going to win that one.
Now we're getting.
Oh!
Weez is still there. Did I hang up on you?
I think we may have lost Weez. We had a little technical difficulty here on set.
Cody's anger.
Talk. I will get him back.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to go ahead and agree with Erica and Cody on this one. I think the Steelers have proven that they have a really great track record on the road and that, they've been doing really well. And, what's kind of unfortunate about the whole situation is that the Bills are a lot like the Lions in that they've had a lot of really close games where they almost won or probably even should have won, but it came down to like a single play or a single score or whatever. But I just don't see them overcoming the Steelers offense. I just don't.
okay, so that's Erica and Andrea and Cody all taking the Steelers and Darren and Weez with the Bills.
All right.
All right, now Weez, before we let you go, just tell us really quickly, who are your NFC and AFC picks for the Super Bowl? I guess it's a little bit premature, but not really. We're 2 months away. So NFC pick, Weez, and your AFC pick for next year's Super Bowl.
I mean, it's tough. I said before last week's game out of the NFC, the winner of the Giants-Phillies game, I thought would be the favorite to make it to the Super Bowl. I have to say, even though I'm picking against them this week, probably the Eagles are the favorite out of the NFC. AFC. Wow. We got New England. That was for you, Darren. In Indianapolis, don't think so. Who does that leave us with?
It leaves us the Ravens, the Jets, and the Steelers.
So says Erica.
I agree, and since me and Cody keep telling you the Jets and Steelers are 2 of the most overrated teams in football, that leaves Baltimore as my pick.
Okay, I'm going to, you know what? I'm right there with you. I'm going to say, can I change this from week to week?
What we're gonna do is we're gonna look at it again the week before playoffs begin and see how close we are, and then we're gonna pick again.
Okay.
You can either choose to stay with your current pick, or you can choose to change it up, and then we're gonna compare, records as we go on.
So Weeze has Eagles Ravens. I have Eagles Ravens. Cody?
I've got New England and I've got the Falcons.
Wow. Okay. Darren?
As much as I'd love to say New England will get there, I just don't think that our talent is at the level to get us there. I mean, unless we go on a run, which we do great in the postseason. But I've got Falcons Ravens.
Cool.
I think that's this year's Super
right.
Bowl.
The Bird Super Bowl.
Bird.
Yep.
A Bird Bowl.
I'm going to agree and pick the Falcons for the NFC, since my team has clearly lost their chance at going to Super Bowl. But I think that they'll call me crazy. I think that the Chargers could have a bid at Super Bowl.
And I would just like to let everyone in the chat room know that Andrea picked Chargers because she went to the Monday night game last night. But that does not mean they're going to go to the Super Bowl, Andrea.
No,
And my
this is how
friends
she
got
picked
featured
that
on
team.
ESPN. It was really cool. No, I'm saying that because I know that it would mean they have to win every single game for the rest of the season, and then a couple people would maybe have to lose some, but I think that they could do it. I think in their division that they're strong, and I think when you have to remember, when the playoffs begin, it's anybody's game. Think about the year that the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl. No one picked them to go that year. They were like the underdog of the playoffs. So I'm a firm believer that if they can just make it to the playoffs, that they can make it happen.
All right.
We'll see.
Before we let Weeze go, we got to get, what's the line on the Alabama-Auburn game, Weeze?
Let's take a look.
For college talking, because we got to get
Is that your
And
pick for the week?
I actually agree. I like San Diego's team, but the question is if they make the playoffs.
If
So
they make the
I can't
playoffs.
give that out as a pick when a team's not even guaranteed to make the playoffs. But San Diego's playing really good football, and they always play great in December. All right, let's look. Alabama Auburn.
Right.
Alabama Auburn, yeah. The Iron Bowl.
Alabama's a 4.5-point favorite over Auburn.
And I like Auburn to win that game on the field. Now, everyone is taking Alabama in this game. Like, you hear this is the game that Auburn's going to lose. But that is such an emotional pick that people are making. When you look at it, there's no real reason other than the fact that the game is in Tuscaloosa that Auburn should lose this game. Auburn has a very weak secondary. That is not Alabama's strength. Alabama's strength is running the ball with Mark Ingram and Richardson. And you know where Auburn's defense is ranked second in the SEC is against the run. So I really like Auburn to pull that one out. I just think that people are making this decision based on the fact that they want to see Auburn slip up.
Yeah.
They want to see some chaos at the top, and I don't think Alabama would be the team to beat Auburn. I think Auburn has more of a chance of losing in the SEC championship game against South Carolina than against Alabama.
All right.
And did you know that Steve Jobs dropped out of Stanford and took a calligraphy class? I'm full of useless knowledge.
All right, so Cody picks Auburn to win on the field, but Alabama is a 4.5-point favorite?
Alabama's 4.5 favorite, so
Okay.
he's going to get 4.5 and try to break his streak. I'm just wondering if Auburn's quarterback's father tried to get money for him to get him to cover.
That's a good point. You never know who's on the take there.
Well,
But we will see. Hopefully, you'll break your streak. If
That's
not,
right.
I'm gonna have a nice. If not, I'm gonna have a nice New Year's on you.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Weeze, and we will talk to you next week.
All right, I enjoyed the show and enjoyed talking about gambling. So I will talk next week. Hopefully, we'll have a couple more winners, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, Weeze. Take care, man.
Always a pleasure, Weeze.
All right. Good night.
Night.
All right, guys. So you guys out there should be able to be making lots of money off of our picks this week. Remember, always to listen to myself and to Andrea, not to anyone else. We're always right.
I think I'm the one that's got like the best record right now.
Do you?
We're starting from scratch today.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, all right.
slate
Exactly.
is clean.
And watch for me to take the lead real quickly.
This is my baptism. I'm starting over.
Well, now that we've given everyone out there some pretty solid picks for this weekend's NFL games, let's look at some really, well, not really news anymore, but we haven't talked about it yet. The Vikings fired Coach Childress, which if they had just been watching the show, they would have known to have done that weeks ago, but they
Yeah.
weren't. So thank you for finally catching up the trend. I'm happy about it. You know, I know, Andrea, this is your team again. You probably are the person in the room with the most interest in this story, but replaced by Leslie Frazier as the interim coach. It's going to be a new day in Minnesota, guys. I think that the only thing I have to say is that no matter how bad or how poorly Coach Childress was coaching, now it's time for the players to prove that he was actually the problem.
Yeah.
They've talked so much trash about him all season long, from the Randy Moss situation to the Percy Harvin, I hear bird, to the Percy
Fire alarm.
It's actually the fire alarm. Somebody went out the emergency exit.
Probably one of my gamers.
The show's not over yet.
It's not over yet. Don't try to kick us off the air yet.
Crying out loud. So rude.
So rude of them. So, yeah, Percy Harvin, the disgruntled Percy Harvin, disgruntled Randy Moss. There's been so much drama. Coach Childress has gone out. Now, players, Vikings, it's time to prove that you can win now that the culprit, according to you guys, is out of there.
With Frazier as your new head coach, are you changing like the theme song to like, "Hey baby, I hear the blues are calling"?
Yeah, right. No, listen, I completely agree. This is our moment to step up, and that's why I said, you know, I think that Minnesota has a chance of beating the Redskins in their game coming up this week. And let's be honest, it was an embarrassing loss to Green Bay at our home field, and it wasn't just a loss. It's like they completely defeated us, in every way. And after a loss like that, after the series of losses that we've had this season, either Favre was going to go or Childress was going to go. Somebody's head was going to roll. And with the amount of money they've spent on Favre and how prominent of a face he is and how much of a public figure he is, they couldn't just cut Favre loose and let him go. If Childress was the fall guy. Now, I'm not trying to say that.
It's a fall guy.
I'm not trying to say that, he wasn't at fault, but because clearly he made a lot of bad decisions this season. Yeah. Did Favre make a lot of bad decisions and bad plays? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, but when you're going to have to pick one or the other, you're going to fire your head coach before you fire your, star quarterback. So, I mean, I would love to see Tavares Jackson get some playing time. I think Childress should have pulled Favre in the second half of the game on Sunday and let Tavares play, because Tavares has been ready and proved when he stepped in when Favre was injured that he was ready to play. And I think that when you're going to have a quarterback who's underperforming and throwing picks the way Favre has done all season, you've got to give your second string guy a chance to prove that he could do better.
That's true. So, Darren, do you think the tide changes now in Minnesota now that Childress is gone, or do you think it's going to be
the
they
same
continue
old story
to be terrible?
I'm sorry, Andrea, but no, they are. This season is unsalvageable.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Cody?
I don't think Brad Childress was a problem there. I really don't. I just don't see it as a problem. They're going to have to take that team, implode it, and actually build it up. They grafted some pieces on that worked for a while, but this is going to be something where they have to start anew and be a phoenix and rise from the ashes.
Yep. I don't know much about Leslie Frazier, but I mean, I'm sure he's going to try to prove that he can get some wins and maybe try to salvage this season so that he can be considered for the head coaching position next year. But honestly, if I, was Frazier, I would want to be like, peace out to the Vikings. They've had so much drama. I mean, of course, you want to take whatever head coaching job that you can get, but I would want to start anew. Don't think I want to be with that organization anymore. But that's just my humble opinion. All right, guys, we have talked so much betting news and talked so much Childress news that we can't talk to you guys anymore. So I know it's so sad. Don't be sad. But make sure you check back in with us next week to see who was right, to see who was wrong, maybe even see if you've won some money based on the advice that we've given you guys. And as always, big thanks to Storm On Demand. They are the reason that you can watch This Week in Football. For all of your cloud computing needs, make sure you check with stormondemand.com for more information. I am Erica Davis. We have Andrea in the chat room. Beautiful Andrea again. Okay, there you are. I'm not Andrea. She was there, I promise.
I do want to remind everyone to follow our This Week in Football Twitter page. It's at TWI Football. We'll be posting much more news. I know we haven't been as active, but now that we're doing betting picks every week, we'll be posting a lot of those on our Twitter page. So please do follow us at TWI Football.
And Cody's here. And
that guy.
Darren.
Hey.
All right, guys. So we will all be back with you next week. Have a great Thanksgiving. Eat lots of turkey and win lots of money, courtesy of us. All right, guys. Thanks for watching This Week in Football. See you next week.